Let's get it. Welcome to the Dear Son Show. We have meaningful conversations about life through the lens of fatherhood. It's for fathers, those with fathers, and the fatherless, so nobody's left out. These are the conversations I want my sons to access as they grow through life into manhood, so no topics are off limits. Today, I'm your only host, but we got an amazing guest. AD is in the building. How you feeling, my brother?
I feel calm, man.
I see it.
Yeah.
I see it. There's a calmness about you, man. How's your day going?
And it's going, I'm actually in a season where I am releasing and shredding old patterns and cycles. So a lot of times, man, I've been overwhelmed. I was going for a walk, as we were talking earlier, and like, I just got hit with a wave of emotion. And I had to breathe into it and, inhale, exhale, and remind myself that the little boy is not running the show. So, yeah.
Is that common? Or what did it catch you off guard?
It caught me off guard because I spent many years being avoidant to my own behavior patterns. Like I had amazing people come in my life try to love me, but I've realized that I've been pushing them away. And that actually stemmed from a father wound.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into it, man. Your childhood. Where you from? Where's home?
Home is Orlando. Home is
Okay.
Orlando. I was born to I'm first generation American. So my mom is from Barbados. My dad is from Panama.
Okay.
So a lot of the things that I've learned about life was in the house first. It was very much you do it this way, and so performance was the way that I was seen in the household. So think about it. I look at it like this: I was born from two parents that came to America for a better life. And I'm the product of that better life, right? And so I felt internally a lot of pressure. So I never did well in school. I tried sports to be seen. And it's also a place where I hid. And I hid well, for a long time. And so, yeah, that's, I ended up in, around 16, I ended up in Texas. I ended up in Arlington. And I was there for about a year and a half, and came back home to Orlando. And I've been here.
So you're clearly very aware of that now. How early in life did you pick up on the performative aspect that's what was required? Did you know, or
honestly, it's been this year?
Okay.
Honestly, it's been this year. It's been a roller coaster of a year. I got into a relationship with an amazing woman, and she was a mirror. And I've been on my healing journey for at least 8 years.
Wow.
She saw things in me that I was still operating from ego, still operating from past hurt, and I was unwilling to hear that and see that.
What was the dynamic in the house? Were your parents together for a time or for the duration of your childhood?
Yeah, like I never received my dad's love, right? Even though he was there.
Okay, he was in the house. Okay. Yeah.
Up until 6, right?
Okay.
So, he taught me little things like, stuff about Spanish and stuff about having patience. When he used to come home and, he used to work out of state. He was a sheet metal mechanic. So he used to work in like North Carolina. He used to work in Mobile, Alabama. So when he come home, I remember this one conversation when I was 6 years old. And this is when I realized that this is like my first memory, essentially, of separation. Right? I was 6 years old, and he came home and he gave my mom a check. And my mom said, "That's it. You've been gone for a while." And, my mom had an amazing career being a nurse. So in that moment, I'm sure he felt emasculated. Right. But I'm 6 years old. I have no idea. I just see them arguing. He leaves. He sees me in the hallway. He says, "I'll be back." And he gets in his car. He had a white Cadillac backing down the driveway, and he had tears in his eyes. And so I have this image in my head that sometimes I can't shake. It's a 6-year-old little boy with his hands, on the window, with his forehead on the window, and watching my dad, leave.
Wow.
And so sometimes that moment taught me, like it revealed, am I good enough? Well, is it my fault? right? And so maybe if I was good enough, then he'll stay, right? So because it was
Mm.
unknown and I didn't have my father to lead me or guide me or fill in the blanks, right? I've been moving from 6 years old to 34, like essentially like without a roadmap,
Yeah.
I've just been shooting stuff out the way. If it sticks, if it's good, all right, great. But I realized that I've left a mess sometimes due to my own ambition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did that show up from, let's say, through up until high school? Do you remember that period, like elementary, middle? Were there things that jumped out at you that
Yeah. So
shaped how you are?
from 6 to 13, it was like we would spend like Christmases and summers with my dad in Alabama. Right. And then he had a girlfriend. So like he never really spent too much time with us. It was just like an obligation, you know, that I don't think
When
he
you
really.
say us, do you have other siblings? Or you
Oh yeah,
separate
yeah,
from?
yeah. I had me and my sister, right?
Okay.
And so it was more like I felt like more of an obligation. It didn't feel like he was actually present. It just felt like he had like he had to do it, even though I'm sure that, he loved us, but I don't think he know how to actually be emotionally available. I
Right.
remember him telling my sister one year, she was on a cycle and she was having a stomach ache, and he just told her, "Suck it up and get in the car. We got to go."
Figure it
you
out.
know,
Yeah.
and so like it's just things like that I've, even me being a father, like I have to catch myself with my daughter to say, oh, because those moments, that little moment right there, I can see myself with my daughter. Like, over the summer we're playing. She plays flag football,
Mm-hmm.
and we're working out, but I don't know that she's cramping. And I'm like, come on, we done did this drill up. Like, come on, I'm pushing her. And she's like, my back hurt, my stomach hurt. And I'm like, I'm getting frustrated, just like a man that I barely even knew,
Right.
you know? And so
Right.
I remember up to high school because at 13, my father died, And so I got a call in December 2003. And at the time I'm 12. And he called, he spoke to me, and his voice sounded weaker. And I was like, hey, he was like, hey, like, I got to tell you something. I'm like, what's up? He was like, I got colon cancer. I don't know nothing about no colon cancer. I don't know nothing about cancer. Like, you my superhero, right? Like, so I need to believe that you're going to beat whatever you're going through,
Right.
right? And so he tossed the phone to my mom. I tossed the phone to my mother, and she was talking to him, and da 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 da. And so there was actually a point where he was supposed to come back home and live with us. But my mom had this boyfriend that she moved in that I barely even knew at 10. And so me and my mom from the 10 to 17, there was no like, I would always say that she wasn't emotionally available for me.
Gotcha.
Because I was a kid that was going in his mom's room, and, now she has his boyfriend, and now I have to knock on the door. And as I get older, I don't want to go through that knock to talk to my mother. So it stopped being her voice, then it was his voice. And he didn't spend time with me either. So now I'm having to process these things that I don't even know, these emotions that I'm feeling, these feelings that I'm feeling, and I don't even know what's coming up. So what do? I internalize them. I go outside, play basketball, right? Anything to not sit in what I'm feeling, not even know what I'm feeling.
Right.
And so when we got that call, so fast forward to May, she said that my dad wouldn't make it past the week. And I was like, okay. This was like, like May 9th. And then May 11th, she came home and she gathered me and my sister, and she said, hey, your dad passed this morning in California. He was living with my other sister because he couldn't come with us. There was no space. And so he went to go live with his other daughter in California. And I never got that conversation. You know what I mean?
How did your mom deliver the message? And it's part of a larger question that I want to ask in terms of how did she present who your father was to you after he left?
Yeah.
Were there many or any conversations about, did she esteem him? Did she, how did she present hin to you?
It was blank.
Wow.
She never said any bad words.
Right.
I remember being a kid and having my mom come in a room, and she had like swab my mouth, And so I was like, as a kid, I'm guessing she had to, because he was like, well, I'm out of town a lot. I don't even know if he's mine, kind of thing. So when I say I didn't earn my father's love, it's like I remember these moments, you know, and I'm connected to him. I've never hated my father because I'm connected to him,
Yeah.
you know. And so the best thing that he did was help give me life. I love you, you know. But that's also how my mom raised me to think, you know. Um, and that's how I just move with grace, you know, because I
Yeah.
realized that it was my father's first time being on earth, you know, and I realized that my father's father wasn't the best father either.
Right.
And we, you know, and grew up in an age where men just worked and came home,
Yeah.
you know, some
Yeah.
men.
We realized that, well, I realized that when I became a father, that I as a kid had no right to judge who my father was to me, not understanding what it took to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
But I also recall growing with certain feelings before that point. Like what carried you through high school? What was that experience like as you're becoming attracted to women and you're starting to have these experiences socially?
Yeah.
How did you connect with people, or did you?
I was angry.
Hmm.
That's how I ended up in Texas. You know, I went from
Say
being
more.
that I was frustrated because my mom was too busy trying to tell me I need a father figure when I told her black and white, I need my mother's love. You know, my mom has always been the instrument of me having a voice. And so and to communicate before I get frustrated, right? But I was angry, man. I remember this one woman with this one little girl that, you know, I was 13, 14 years old, and you know, we're texting, she's calling me, I'm playing basketball, I'm with all my guys, right? Like, and they're all telling me like, don't pick up, right? Like, don't respond, you know, wait 15 minutes and then text her back, right? So I'm learning early. Then I go to the barbershop, and the barbershop, they talking about having multiple women, right? The guy in the neighborhood that's a little bit older, he's talking about having multiple women, and that's what makes you a man,
Right.
right? Having one woman, that'll make you. I didn't see marriage growing up, you know, and the one time that I did, it was a close friend of mine, and I never wanted to go home.
Hmm.
Like the structure of his mom cooking and cleaning and working, and him dad coming home and taking his tie off to go in the backyard and swim with us and lift weights with us and go in the front yard and play basketball with us, watching football with us, eat with us, right? And I used to say, man, I don't even want to go home to my house.
Right.
I'm like, you get this every day?
Yeah.
You know, but I was angry, man. Like I got into fighting. I got into cussing teachers out. I got into, you know, the one thing that I loved was basketball, and I got that taken away from me because, you know, as a father, now I understand what my mother was doing. She was teaching me that, like, hey, like, if I'm driving an hour to work and then coming home, but then I have to drive 45 minutes to your school, that I sent you to a better school, but now you cutting up at the school, I got to take this away from you. But you took away the only thing that I had,
Right.
the one thing that I zoned out. So it's like every time I dribble the basketball, like it just blocked out all the mental chatter,
Right.
you know. And that's you know, that landed me in Texas, man. In high school,
How so?
I moved to Texas with well, because I was getting in trouble, right?
Okay.
And they were going to send me to a different school that I was going to really get in trouble, right? Like the kids in my neighborhood, kids in my age, we started to, you know, steal from stores. We started to in the neighborhood playing with the handles of the doors, right? I saw some of my friends die, you know.
Wow.
You know, 16 years old, I had my first gun, right? You know, so there was a lot of things that, and I was watching gang bang movies on YouTube, you know, and one day my mom seen the video and she was like, hey, you keep this up, you're going to be right where your dad is at. And I said, but my dad is dead. And she said,
Mm.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, why would you tell me that? But I don't think she even had any idea how to deal with me. Just let him process, you know?
How much do you know about your parents, how their upbringing?
Man, I know, I don't know too much about, I never met my grandparents on my father's side, you know? Funny enough, my mom didn't even know my dad spoke Spanish until she heard him one day on the phone talking to his mom.
Right.
She thought she thought she was being cheated on. And she was like, "Who is that?" He was like, "I'm talking to my mom." She's like, "I didn't know you know Spanish." My dad said, "You never asked." So right then and there, we're dealing with a man that is very private, and he was also
Yeah.
ex-military, and he was a part of some. I think he was part of some cult, if I'm being honest, right?
Wow.
And he used to tell me like, if I told you the things that I've done, I have to kill you. So he was like one of those military men,
Yeah.
and my mom's parents, um, the only memory I have of my grandma is running over her foot with a Tonka truck, like as a kid. My grandfather, I met him one time when I was 10, and that was cool. We went to Barbados,
Okay.
and that was pretty cool. My mother told me that she told me this year. She says her mother didn't really give her a voice. She was the oldest girl she was the oldest daughter of 6 kids.
Wow.
There was 3 boys and there was 3 girls. So she's the oldest daughter, but she had to take care of the 3 older boys. Right. And so my mom said, Alice, I didn't have much of a voice growing up, but she was like, I wanted to do things differently with you all.
Right.
And so she told me, because my son, there's times where I'm trying to talk to him and it's not landing, where I'm like, yo, listen, I didn't have a dad like me, like I'm showing you, and it doesn't land because it's not his life. And so my
Yeah.
mom was like, don't let him see you frustrated because, you didn't talk till you were 4. And then you started to mumble and then you started to stutter. But my mom always poured into me, told me about Moses was slow to speak as well too. And
Right.
teachers told me that I couldn't read, write, or speak well. And so, what I do know is that like my mom poured everything that all the love that she could give me, whatever she can give me at the time that she can give me. I know
Yeah.
that she never held back.
What did the experience in Arlington do for you?
The experience of fatherhood?
In Arlington, when you came to Texas, yeah.
We laugh about this, me and my siblings, because there was no parental figures. It's just me and my 2 sisters. One of my sisters, she is 12 years older than me. We have different dads.
Gotcha.
And so she knows more about my dad than I do, you know. But my other sister that's close in age, I was 16, she was 19. My other sister was like 28, 29,
Mm.
somewhere around there. And so like I was actually more free, to be honest. And my mom would call here and there, but I wasn't hearing it. She would try to say, if I got in trouble, she would try to punch me through the phone or tell my sister to try to. And I'm like, that ain't gonna run. Like that ain't it. And it's because I took it as you kind of pushed me away.
Right.
Like you kind of gave up on me. As I got older, I saw that my mom was just trying to find who she was, because she had been a mother since her 20s. So I took it personally, even though I still needed my mother's love. But you the only parent that I got.
Yeah.
I need you.
Yeah. It's like hindsight is amazing when you can actually come to an appreciation of what your parents were going through, because you don't understand what it is to be 20, having not been 20.
Yeah.
But having been 20, you kind of, I wasn't hitting the mark on everything. I wasn't making all of the right decisions. And now if you got people looking at you, depending on you, modeling your behavior, there's plenty of behaviors early in my fatherhood that I'm not proud of now, even though I wasn't intentionally being a bad person to my children. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't ask for help. Like that was my thing. I had a great father, but I felt like I was embarrassing him because I didn't want to be like him. I didn't like his rules, right? They were very, religion ran the house. And I get it now, like you got to have a standard. So I completely understand it now. But as a child, 13, 14, I thought I knew what I didn't know. And that carried on through my early adulthood. So as I created distance from my father, who I had access to, which was foolish, when I realized that I needed him, now I'm embarrassed. Like I can't tell him, like I'm out here living the way I'm living.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realize that he had a life too. You know what I'm saying? And I found out later, actually through this platform at like 40, that we had some like the apple typically lands next to the tree. in most cases, in all cases, it lands next to the tree. It may roll down the hill, but it absolutely falls directly beside the tree. What did as you moved into adulthood, how are you navigating life? Because anger seems to be a theme. Even when you're away from your mom, there was this hint of maybe the anger is still there. She's trying to punch you through the phone to give your sisters, guidance on how to handle you. Like, at what point did that subside, or is it a day by day to day?
Man, today I don't get angry. I'm just disappointed. I just get disappointed and like, I believed in you.
Yeah.
Oh man, like I've people looked me in my eyes, told me they got me, and treated my heart horribly. And I'm not even upset. It's like, I understand that you had to be hurting to hurt me.
Yeah.
So I get it. It doesn't mean that, like, there is that the anger stopped when I started to understand, like, I'm allowing other people to get me here. And was dating this woman when I was like 20. Man, I think she was cheating on me or whatever, but I got so upset. And she didn't see this, but I just tore my whole apartment apart like I was a child in my room. As a kid, how a kid, you just get in your room and then you start throwing stuff. And my mom used to always come in the room and give me these 3 soft knocks. And she said, "Hey, you still got a mess to clean up, right?"
Did your mom, did she ever match your energy when it came to anger? Or was she always kind of?
Never. There was one time, like, so there was a rise to power moment, right? So like when I was 13, or 12, no, I think it was 13, 14. And I was in 7th grade, I know that. And so yeah, probably around that age. And we were doing math. And I said, my mom is Caribbean. She does math differently than how they teach it in America. So I was like, nah, they not doing. I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, you're trying to help me, and I get that you're trying to help me, but you can't help me in this situation because that's not how they teaching it. And so she grabbed a paper, or I think she grabbed something, whatever was close to her. And she went like this. And that's when I stood up and I grabbed her wrist and I said, "We done doing that." And it was just me staring at her eyes. And
Yeah.
And then ever since then, she switched her whole approach. So she got very strategic with how she handled me then. So it was like, "Hey, let's go. Hey, I got to come run some errands." "All right, cool. Yeah, come with me." "All right, cool." I'm thinking we're going to bond one-on-one time, right? "Where we going?" "Oh, first thought we're going to go, we're going to go cut that hair." It was very much. So I've always been a rebel. I've always been a go against the grain. Whatever you tell me, no, I need to make sure that this aligns with me.
Yeah.
But my mom always met that with kindness, with softness, with grace.
That's interesting, man. My last whipping, because I got whipped, there's no other way to describe it, was in 7th grade. And I deserved it. But what shifted the dynamic between me and my father was the only one allowed to beat me. My mom beat me one time, and my dad was like, "Hey, you go it takes too much for you to get there, and you go too far once you're there." So that was the only one time my mom beat me. But the last time that my dad whipped me, he started crying. Like, after he did it, I heard him, like, his office space was across the hall from my room, and I heard him crying. He came back in and apologized. And he realized that, like, in 7th grade, I'm probably 5'11", 160, 165. My dad is 6'1". So we're almost out of eye. Not that I would dare raise up on him, but he was like, "I realized that you had to take it." And I think he said, "I felt like I was degrading you." He said, "Next time, if we get to that point, we'll square up." We never had a problem again. Not that I wasn't a problem, but I never presented myself in a way that would force him to put his hands on me. I was just, you say yes, it's also no for me. Curfew, what is curfew? Like, those were my things, and it was beyond whipping. I stayed on punishment. I don't think I saw the first 3 seasons of Martin, and that was a big deal because I was on restriction for those years. That was my life. But it when it comes to that point, I think it's a salute to their maturity to realize when something doesn't work. And that's kind of why I want to go in conversation now. You reference children, a daughter and a son. Is that the extent of it?
Mm-hmm.
Like what kind of parent, how old are they? Number one.
My daughter is 12, and my son is 9.
Okay. So you've been at this 12 years. How did you start? And let's kind of walk through where you are today as a father.
How did I start as a father?
Yeah.
One, I was trying out for playing basketball overseas. And the mother of my kids, very quickly, you want kids? Yeah, I want kids too. All right. So
let's do sex.
Let's do sex, you know? Listen, brother, I'm very fortunate that she don't cause me no problems. But yeah, that's not the way that should be done. You know?
Message.
Yeah, it was so, I like you. I see where you're going in life, and I like you too. I like where you're going in life. Both of us were fighting or dealing with wounds that we didn't even know existed. From her and her mom and her dad, and from me and from my mom and dad. So it's like the one thing we had in common is like, this is how we want to show up for our children, what we want to create. And so we just went, in it. And I was getting ready to try 2 weeks before my trial in Germany. Hey, I'm pregnant. Well, I got a decision to make, right? My dad wasn't there. And I'll be real with you, no one is checking for absent fathers these days. So I got a decision to make. I can go be selfish and go do a dream that I've been planning in my head since I was 10.
Yeah.
Right? Or I could be a father. And well, I was afraid to be a father.
In your mind, they were opposed. There was no answer where both things could be achieved. Your dream and fatherhood.
I've never seen both, outside of the guy that I was married to, or the guy that I was, that I saw married, in his household. But at 22, 21, I wasn't even thinking about what I was seeing in that dynamic of marriage.
Yeah. I'm
just like, what do we do from here? And it was just like the love that I had for what's mine. Because what's mine is mine. I don't play about what's mine. Like, okay, cool. I got you. So we'll figure this out. And then she was with both of our children, actually, she was she ran the risk of having either miscarriage or premature, because it was like a medical, like, or like her body, the cervix was half than what it needed to be at the time. So she couldn't even work anymore.
Did y'all know that before Let's Do Sex, or you found out through the first pregnancy?
Nah, man, we didn't even know.
Ooh.
We had no idea. I mean, at least I didn't know.
Okay.
I went into this is actually funny now, but I went into that when you go into the meeting to meet the doctor.
Yeah, very well.
Yeah. And he was like, hey, this is first pregnancy? I'm like, yeah. I'm answering the questions. And she's like, nah.
Gotcha.
Like, huh? She's like, when I was 15, like my mom made a decision for me. Da, da, da. I'm like, oh, okay. Never been the type to judge anything. So I'm like,
yeah,
okay. But
yeah, it's valuable information nonetheless. Judge or not, it's valuable information to share.
Yeah. And so I've learned to shut up. I've never been the type of man to have any authority over a woman in their decision or their bodies. So I'm like, all right, ain't no harm, no foul. If I'm rolling with you, I think that men, we take on the whole package. Whatever.
We should. And man, I'm gonna get you on camera to agree to come back to a panel discussion to talk about that, because I don't think we're gonna get to it here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, I think men should take on the whole package, it's part of the responsibility of men. And men feel that internally and they turn the other cheek. And I know they do.
Ooh, boy, you going down a path.
Yeah.
Going down a path.
Let's go back.
I'm hey. So I'm here for it.
I always say if it feels heavy, that's because God gave you the responsibility. That's why it feels heavy. And so every time where I feel like I'm pushing away or running or I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's supposed to feel like that.
You know, the thing about that is weights feel heavy when you first start lifting them, but we keep lifting them.
Come on. Yeah, 100%.
For what it's worth. For what it's worth.
I've learned to just, I learned when to speak and when to just listen. And so what I learned through that pregnancy is, I always said that my daughter is my oxygen. She actually taught me how to love. When I had my son, it was more of I held him and I says, I don't want you to be like me. And that was the introduction to my healing. I didn't even want him to have my name. I wanted him to have his own identity. I was still Alex. I felt like I had to earn my name, Alexander.
Yeah.
And so, that was a challenge for me because, again, I've never seen it, but like the love that I've had, like I've always, and my kids know, they know I'm a great dad. I didn't know how to love their mother. No idea. She used to come home and I was still in that space of come home from work and she was, she wanted to connect with me.
Yeah.
But I've been home all day with our children. I'm going to play basketball. I'm going to go to the gym. Nah. I can't let you get that close to me. Cause then you'll see me. And if you can see me, you might hurt me. And so when we operate like that, she actually hurt me.
Yeah.
Before she can hurt me, I hurt myself. She woke up one day and she said, "Hey, I need a man who knows who he is." And I was like, "You got it." I've always been a fan of like people who can just tell me raw truth.
Yeah.
It makes life for me, a guy that didn't have a roadmap, very easy. So I much rather that raw truth than to be comforted with a lie. So yeah, I became the man that like, it's like trying to get it right, trying to figure it out. And I still think to this day she's an amazing woman.
So you said I want to pull a thread a little bit because when you said it, I was listening to what you said after it, but I was in my mind trying to place myself in that position of my significant other basically telling me I'm not what they need.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I hear it.
Yeah.
How did you actually hear it? I'm not trying to put anything on you to say something different, but I'm genuinely curious. Like, what did you hear when she said that?
I felt like a little boy looking out that window again. Looking to perform, looking to people please. What could I do better? Right? Why are you not choosing me? Like, what did I do? I'm a nice guy. I'm a good father. Everyone used to always tell me, Alice is an amazing father. And they would stop there. Who am I without the performance? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And fatherhood, at some level, it's a performance. Like, you got to wake up and put that crown on and get to it.
Whether you want to or not.
Whether you want to or not. So it's like, yeah. I am very efficient in scoring 20 points and 10 rebounds and 5 assists. I can lead the league.
Yeah, it's measurable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm not performing at my best, is that when I'm not worthy? I sprained my ankle, so now you're going to cut me?
So I'm glad you brought in the sports analogy because, often in my conversations with men, we think somewhat linear. Like it's this or that. So something is measurable or it's not. You did 20 and 10, or you did 5 and 1, and you was on the bench. Like it's clear when you didn't meet the mark and you let your team down.
Yeah.
In fatherhood, I don't know. I won't say that there aren't stats, but I didn't want to see my stats.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
So when you say you were a great father and people champion that, what qualify? What was the stats for that? Like, what confirmed that you were a great father other than their words?
Man, I changed my life around, just to be my kid's dad. There's not a ask too much. There's not ain't nothing. Like, I'm laying it on the line. because I'm a product of someone who didn't have a dad, you know. And I always speak light and love over their mother, even around my kids, even though we're separated from day one, you know, even through the hurt, through the heartbreak, even though I'm crying for days because I'm the little boy that can't get what he wants. And what do I do with these emotions? And now I became depressed.
Did you recognize it in real time?
The depression?
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. I had the mindset of like, yo, this ain't mine. I don't know what this is, you know? But I done got to a point in my life where I done did everything that everyone wanted me to do. And how I still lose? Right? Hey, I put the pride to the side. I put the career to the side. Okay, I'm going to be a father. So let's be a father, right? Not knowing that I also have to be a good partner, right? Not knowing that she has an experience that she wants to live as well too, you know? And so I became the person that was like, she told me one day, she was like, you know, you can post these inspirational quotes, motivational quotes on social media, but you ain't living it. And so like, I got offline for like 18 months. And I said, I need to figure out who was Alexander? I had to earn this kid's love. I had to earn this man's love. I had to go to my father's grave and hey, I love you.
Yeah.
Hey, here we are now. We gonna have this conversation now. And I had to fly from Orlando to California because it was like, my mindset, it was like, well, you're not coming to me, so I got to go to you. And so I was like, man, if she's the one, let me know. Should I go work that out? Let me know. Please let me know. If it's one thing that you can help me with, just let me know. Is she the one? And my arm came into my body like this. And in that moment, it was like, oh, I'm the one that I've been looking for. You know what? I got to show up for my kids because you didn't show up for me. Right. So that right here, that's going to stop today. You know what I'm saying? And so I used to feel guilty.
Yeah.
Choosing me.
I want to point out how you frame something when I asked you to qualify the Great Dad Award, you know, and you said, I laid it on the line. Cool. I gave up my career.
Mm-hmm.
Did any resentment brew from that?
Resentment? No, because I didn't feel like I had a choice. And I feel like I did the best thing. Like my daughter, like, to be honest, like, this is her first year, like, she's in middle school. So she's playing, like, she does track, she does football, she does basketball, all the things. And the coach was like, hey, you fast? And I was like, yeah, why? Man, your daughter, man, she fast, man. She a stud.
She got it.
She was the only girl that was on the on the 8th grade team. She was the only girl that was in 6th grade starting at running back amongst boys. And it was like, so
So when you said football, I know there's girls flag football leagues. You're talking about football.
This was co-ed. This is flag football.
Okay. But I mean, still.
And she's still scoring touchdowns. You still can't catch her. Like, none of it. And they're asking me, you know, and I'll get to it. Like, they were asking me, like, some of the coaches, some of the players, hey, how often do you train her? Nah. I pour my life into this little girl.
Yeah.
Like, there ain't nothing that she believed that, and my son, there ain't nothing that they don't believe that they can do. Nothing. So I gave them my mentality, you know, and also they were around me while I was still, you know, hey, I'm not slowing down for you. Like, I'm going to the court. Like, I'm just dragging you with me now. you know?
Yeah.
So they got that competitiveness.
I think that's interesting, and I commend you for number one, being that in real time, and it didn't take you long to answer. So I believe you're truthful about it, but the reason I was curious about it is because I made my career my priority and found a way to blame it on them because I needed to do that to give them a better life.
Yeah.
That's how I justified it in my mind. So it's interesting with somebody that has a dream where like only the 1% of the 1% make it.
Yeah.
And to lose that and not shift any of that blame or carry any of that into your parenting, I think it's commendable because I'm just talking about corporate. Like it gets replicated all the time. Not everybody makes it, period. Not everybody makes it how I made it. But it wasn't like I worked 18 years and I messed up at the combine. It wasn't that. You know what I'm saying? There were other chances, but honestly, I made it my thing because I had friends that were athletes, right? And that's measurable.
Mm-hmm.
Trophy, playoffs, championship, like it's measurable. So my thing was, man, I got to be successful. I need to make it to the executive rank. And recognizing what it was doing to my family, I didn't shift soon enough. Thank God I still had an opportunity to correct course. But when things weren't going well in home, I ran to what worked well and was measurable, which was in the office.
Yeah. I think with a lot of our Black men, we're taught that our purpose is sports. Like our purpose is like performance.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I've always said like sometimes people's dreams are, you know, they're an inconvenience to other people who love them. Right? Like if I'm 34 years old, I'm like, man, I'm gonna get back out there, man. I can still make the league. Who am I inconveniencing now? My daughter needs me. My son needs me.
Yeah.
Their mama still need me in some capacity, right? My mama needs me. My sister needs me. I can very much go out here and go do that and commit everything that I got to it. At what cost?
Yeah.
So at what cost am I willing to be a success to the world, but at home a private failure?
Pause right there, because the way you just laid it out is what has been a theme on this platform, is that in every other area of life, we can figure out how to go hard, go through hell to figure it out, to get there, to wherever there is. But the moment food ain't hot when we walk in the door, we ready to leave it. That's why I never get married. I'm like, well, food don't. If you would never, don't. Okay, gotcha. But the audacity of some of us to be able to love something so much and pour all of us into something so much that has no guaranteed return, because it's not even a human that can give it back to you. It's a sport. It's an achievement. It's an accomplishment. Run through every wall to do that.
My mom used to always tell me that, she said, Alex, if you got to do something that's not of you just to get something that you want, then what you're trying to get probably don't deserve you.
Your mom still living?
Yeah, man. Yeah. She retiring this year and she moving to Panama.
Do you still have conversations with her?
Every day. Like Monday through Friday, we talk.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I made a point and I watched this. It was like these football players from Miami Hurricanes. And they were like, when the last time you talked to your mom? And some of them were like, oh, last night. Oh, last week. Oh, last month. Da-da-da-da. And I said, man, you know what? I'm going to make it a point to have a better relationship with my mother. You know? And so I call her, even if it's just to talk about whatever it is. Yeah. But now my mom helps me with like relationship stuff. She helps me. She's been fired as a parent, but you know what I'm saying? Like she's fired as a parent. You can't tell me but you could also like, you are my advisor.
Yeah.
Right. Hey mom, I'm thinking about doing this. Well, did you look at this? Right. You can't tell me parenting, but you can also, but now I'm more inquiring of like, hey, if I make this move, is this valid? Or Alex, like, you don't need a woman that is going to be, let's say, codependent, right? You need a woman that's going to actually understand you. You need a woman that is going to da-da-da-da. So she was like, you might have to move something out the way in order to actually be with the woman that understands what you're building in the family dynamic, you know? And I didn't have, like I said, 10 to 17, emotionally checked out.
Yeah.
But I get to say, you know what? Let me go foster and create this relationship that I actually want to have with my mother.
Yeah.
And not be well, she's the parent. Like, why she can't come to me?
Fair. I think a lot of parents are so ready to be in the advisory role when their parenting role didn't earn them an advisory spot.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the hack is if you're parenting for the relationship to continue, when they become an adult, you'll probably parent more informed and more intentionally.
Yeah.
If you're parenting to get them out of the house so you can get back to your life,
Mm-hmm.
you either setting them up for a problem or y'all up for a problem if you choose to still be involved with the child once they become an adult. And that's one thing that has become clear to me is that my dad had standards.
Mm-hmm.
His standards weren't he was very clear there's going to be one man in the house.
Yeah.
Very clear on that. And cool, I got it. So I left early. He didn't push me away. But becoming a parent, I realized that me leaving early didn't just cause problems for me. It caused problems for me and him because he chose to remain part of the solution.
Mm.
So part of his parenting was probably, man, I see this coming. Like I see with my kids now, I have my children today are 22, 19, 18, 12, and 11.
Mm-hmm.
One birthday left this year. My 19 will be 20-year-olds, will be 20 before the year ends. So I have adults and adolescents in the house at the same time.
Yeah.
And what I realized is who I am for the adolescent children, I wasn't for the adults because I didn't have the capacity to be. I wasn't me. So they're getting two different versions. And it's interesting because the younger ones see how I parent the older ones and they think they're do that. No, you're still this. And then the older ones see how I parent the younger ones and they're like, well, you didn't with us. So when it clicks that parenting is for life,
mm-hmm.
that's my choice.
Yeah.
Some may not agree, right? 18, you got to get out of this house. I think we do that way too much in our community. Conversation for another time. But when you parent to stay in your child's life, I think both the parent and the child are better for that.
I would share something with you, man. I never share with anyone. My mom to this day has a hard time telling me she loves me, like verbally. She shows me. I also hear her tell my grandkids, her grandkids, that she loves them. I hear her tell my sisters that she loves them. But when it comes to me, I know she lives with a silent guilt. I know she lives with shame. I know she's not proud of how she showed up for me in childhood. I know that she's the type to overcompensate. I know that she's the type to fill in my gaps when I fall short.
Yeah.
I had to be the man to say, you know what? Let me show up for you. Because everyone else, you showed up for everyone else. Let me show up for you.
Have you let her off the hook?
Oh, yeah. We have some of the most like crazy. It's funny because I learned more about my mom through my daughter. Like whatever conversations skip me, she gives them to my daughter. And she's like, did you know that Mimi used to sing when she was in Barbados? No idea. Did you know that she was working at this place no idea.
Yeah.
My mom told me at 16, she says, don't look at me as mom all the time. Like I'm a girl. And I'm like, you're what?
Yeah. You probably won't understand. You'll probably understand. I'm not gonna say you won't understand it because I think you have a handle on it now, but you'll understand it fully at the point you become a grandparent.
Yeah.
I'm a grandparent now. My granddaughter is 15 months. And it's almost like having a third generation. Like I said, I got a 22-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 15-month-old. And it registered for me when my dad told me, I was like, you're not, I don't know who you are when you're around my children.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of this guy or my mom, right? And they're still together, thank God. And my dad says sometimes, son, when you get a second chance in life to correct a wrong, you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man,
yeah, that hits me. That really hit me in my spirit just now. I tell my kids, I'm like, man, listen, I didn't grow up with a roadmap. I didn't like, there's times where I'm working on something and I really want to connect with y'all. And I don't know how to choose both. I don't know how to put the laptop down. Like sometimes I'm like, baby girl, you have to come and take this phone out of my hand. You got to close this laptop down. Like you have to tell me like, hey, daddy, take a break. Cause sometimes I go. And so, even today, my daughter, she says, hey, I have I want to go after practice. I want to go to this, some band performance at her school. And, I'm like, nah, not today. Default. Putting myself in her shoes now, I'm like, I remember wanting to go to things like that when I was her age, and my mom told me no.
Yeah.
So so I dropped her off, and I was like, I'll keep an open mind. I'm trying. She's okay. Right. It's all I can
Yeah.
do is, hey, I'm trying. Right. So the part of me that is like, I'm okay with them, with their mother, like finding love somewhere else. Right. Like that man is not my replacement. He's her reward for being clear. She was clear in what she wanted to experience. I was not ready to give you that. I was not the man who I am today who can give you that experience. Right. So you have exactly what you said you wanted. Right. And so I'm telling her, I'm glad you chose him as your father. I'm sorry, as the stepfather for our kids. I'm glad you chose him as a husband, because he was actually raised in a household where he had two parents.
Wait, you actually you had that conversation? This is what you're
Oh
thinking.
no, I had that with her. Yeah, I had that one with her. I'm like, yo, I'm proud of you for choosing that man, because he actually has, like, my kids don't lack nothing. Right? For somebody who didn't have a father, my kids now they got two grandfathers from her side. She got a dad and a stepdad.
Yeah.
She has her husband, which my kid's stepdad. My kids got me. And if I want to play around with that and act like I'm prideful, yo, there's gonna be a moment where there's a graduation, there's a house, there's a car, there's a lot of these life accomplishments that our kids are gonna be. And guess I'm gonna have to share that moment with you, bro. So I should probably just like, hey, I'm proud of you. Like, you're a woman who knew what she wanted. I hope that you're happy. I know he's proud to be with you too. You know, and so I'm making efforts to connect with him more as we grow, because who I am, I'm telling you right now, like that ain't even common.
I know who I am, and the more you say, I'm like, ooh. Because I have a version of that. My oldest is not my biological, but she's no less mine.
Mhm.
Her father didn't choose to spend as much time, so I am the default. You know what I'm saying? And I know what it is when there's a rub, when it's not all good. You know what I'm saying? And it can tap on a man's pride and ego when a thing isn't going the way he wants it, especially when part of it was something that used to be his, not belong, not property.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Like that was, so that I find it interesting and very mature. Granted, you are 34. I was 24 going through it. So it the city could have been smoky on either side, but it would, but thank God it didn't progress to that, and cooler heads prevailed. And I'm not thankful that he backed out. And I've never had a conversation with him about like why,
Mm-hmm.
because it wasn't like he felt like he couldn't be around.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he married a woman that had a child, and I think some things clicked. Like he appreciated my, in my mind, again, these conversations,
The second time around.
these conversations never happened. But in my mind, I'm suggesting that he said, "Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, this is what it's like to be on that side." But like, is any of that approach letting yourself off the hook? Like they're better now. Cool, good for them. He can undo. Well, make like being a father wasn't really your weak point, but maybe being that man that she needed. Like, is any of that? Ooh, she's over me. He can fix what I caused.
I I know that we're just souls passing through here, passing through life. I know that we don't possess anything, but like I said, what's mine is mine. My kids are mine. I'm not threatened by nothing. That's my blood running through them. Now, however, now to be clear, I didn't ask him to be a part of my life, right?
That would be kind of weird.
To be clear, right? Like he actually chose me by choosing who he
tax deal.
Right. And so this is what you're signing up for. And so in the beginning of that, right, like there was very much of her of not liking me, hating me, right? Like I broke her heart, right? I failed her, right? So that's all he knows of me. The parts that I didn't fit the bill, right? So when I'm talking to him, he already has a jaded perspective of me. He's already like, hey, I know y'all two are friends, but like, I'm going to be the only one making her laugh now. Bro, that's fine with me. I just, I really don't care. Like, I'll be honest with you. Like, I love Shorty, like, you know, and like, cause we created life together.
Yeah.
And if that's how God saw it, that's how He seen it. I didn't have the tool. And if you need to experience something else, and they have 2 more kids, right? Like, you know, so it's like, bro, like I'm cemented, and so are you. We should probably get along, right? You know, and so like there'd be times where I'm going to get my kids something like some ice cream or something like that. Like I'll stop. Like I'm like, hey, what does y'all sister want?
Yeah, that's another conversation.
You know, I'm not. I got love, bro. I'm gonna give it, even though if it's not received well, you're gonna have to fold to it eventually because you're like, hold on, wait a minute, what does he want from me? I don't want nothing. This is how I live my life.
Yeah.
Like, and it's as they say, it's cheaper to keep her, but it's also cheaper to be on good terms with her. Right. And so when there's things that like doctor bills, anything outside the house, that's not, because I never tell her how to run her household. Like that's his domain. Right. Yeah. But for me, like anything that falls under my kids, yo, I got it. Just give me a call and I'll take care of it. Right. So there ain't no chasing me down. There ain't no like, you know, she receives more from me than her ever trying to put me on a child support.
Yeah.
Right. The way that I just show up emotionally and take care of the kids. I have my kids every other week, you know, and if I wanted to have them more, I could have them more.
Right.
You know, the time that I saw you in Dallas, I came home and I had my kids for 2 straight weeks. You know, and I never asked for a break. Like, I never said, yo, can you send me some money? So, hey, yo, the kids got clothes over there. You can bring them up. Like, it's like, hey, did y'all talk to y'all mom today? Right. No, I didn't. Make sure you check in with her.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I'm that's where I'm at with it. What's up?
I love it, man. I love it, man. I'm gonna close it with the question that I typically ask, especially when I have guests that aren't regulars on the show. And I'm pausing because I'm thinking of which way I want to ask it.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept of the show is, dear son, what I wish my father told me.
Mm-hmm.
You lost your father at 13. And I can imagine, and I'm not putting anything on you by saying that, I can imagine there are a lot of things that you wish he told you, given how you chronicled the story. But I want to flip it. Coming to the place where you are today, dealing with yourself daily, what is something that you're focused on ensuring that your children would never have to wish that you told them?
To know who they are, right? Like I always, integrity, honesty, you know, being a servant of God, you know, that God is actually inside of them. You know,
it's true
that when they tap into the right, like the image, right, that we're made in the image. So like with this, to be able to access that. And so I tell my kids like, yo, I don't always need, you know, you ain't got to be the best, but just give your best, right? Like we can deal with that. And so the thing that I wish that either my father would have told me is that like I'm loved beyond what I do.
It's good.
You know, I'm loved beyond how well I perform. You know, and I don't have to be that kid that looks for his parents to come through the door to see if they're coming to the game, right? To know that, hey, Like, even though I'm not there, I'm here. So that is something that, I always instill in my babies. Family. I always tell them, like, see who's around when it's time to celebrate you. Like, when you get these accomplishments and achievements at school, see who's around. Because everybody that's around that you call family, because they're going to take up space in this world. So if it's the one thing that I always tell my kids, as I really just told them yesterday, like last night, you're here to take up space. Take up as much damn space as you want to. I got you. Right. So I know me working is to be able to create. So whenever my daughter gets to an age and my son gets to an age and they want to explore, and I just want to, hey, here's my resources. And I want for people like you to say, hey, you know what? I worked with your dad this much years ago. He's a great man. Hey, here's my baby girl. Hey, here's my son. Right. If they want to learn anything about the camera or anything about whatever it is, hey, go over there. He'll get you right. I trust him with my life. And even in my absence, if I'm no longer here breathing on earth, that the people that I've collaborated and worked with, that they can be like, my dad trusted them, so I can go to them. If I needed money, if I needed resources, if I needed an idea, if I needed a conversation, if I needed 8 minutes a day, they would give it to me. And they would reflect back to me what my dad would tell them. Right? So the work that I do, I always say is necessary. Beyond me. I'm just passing by. So I think that's what I would, in a nutshell, right?
That's solid, bro. Where can the people find you if you want to be found?
I always tell people, man, you only gonna find me when you're ready. But Instagram, AD the greatest. And that should do it.
Gotcha.
AD the greatest. And I'm gonna have some other things coming up that are gonna be, a link in the bio, and they can figure out other ways. But the main thing is Instagram right now.
Good deal, man. Definitely appreciate the time, man. I'm glad that we aligned in the same room. Shout out to Nate with love, Nate Cotman, my guy, your guy. That conversation sparked something in me. I don't know if you could tell at the time we were having it, but I didn't want to have all of it at that time. So, I appreciate the time we're here, man. Hopefully this won't be our last conversation. But certainly, wish you much success. I'll be following your journey. I'll be listening for nuggets because I'm not too old to learn from wisdom. Wisdom doesn't have an age.
Yeah.
It's to be applied. So, for the listening audience, check the link down below for all of AD's information. That's going to do it for this episode. We appreciate you guys. God bless you. Peace.